Hi, I'm Lance Hill. I'm the CEO and founder of Within3. So I've been here since the company was a napkin. Early on within the company's history, the part that was really interesting to me was the human-to-human components that happens within life sciences. How can we take that paradigm of this overtime, convenient, there when you need it sort of communication and apply that to some of the communication challenges that happen in life science companies. Within3 is a medical software company. So if you're a life sciences organization like a medical device or a big drug company and you're developing a new therapy, what routinely happens is you want to gather information from the marketplace and gather information from doctors, get the 10 best heart surgeons together and ask them their opinions on your new therapies. Within3 is a software package that helps clients do all of that, helps them gather those insights, engage all those folks, and ultimately bring drugs to market better and faster to help patients. For the last 10 years, starting from our roots as really virtualizing things like advisory boards and steering committees and some of those sorts of processes throughout the life cycle, our platform has been the place where the life sciences industry talks with physicians and patients and payers, not generally like in some chat board, but in very deep, very specific areas. So when we were solving that starting off that broader communication problem, it was pretty clear that at the core, these same issues exist. And over that 10-year period, we could develop, but clinical does it a bit differently. Medical affairs does it a bit differently. Commercial does it a bit differently. We could begin to customize our technology to where we sit now, where we have 40 different applications on the human-to-human sort of interaction and conversation side that are specific within each of those three divisions. On the clinical side, what we do for them is we give them such information on how to design those studies, where the patients are that can participate in those studies, how to make sure those studies are developed in such a way that they have really high retention with patients and patients complete the studies and they get the data that they need, all the way with helping them publish the results. All of those things can be done on Within3 much better and faster than have ever been done before. Have this really interesting thing in life sciences where you have this data coming out saying, this product when taken this way will have these outcomes different than these outcomes over here. A medical affairs group has to create the scientific narrative around that. They have to understand how that meets the current standard of care. How are people treating this disease today? What are they using? Why are they using that? What do patients know about this therapy and this disease? So that entire function is built on interaction with the field and gaining insights. And that's exactly what the Within3 Insights Management Platform helps companies do. Our technology can really help commercial teams understand and gain intelligence across a whole continuum, across that commercial life cycle. So for that group, that really entails knowing who are the physicians or who are the market access organizations that need to understand and have this in their formulary. How do we know where those people are? How do we engage with those people? How do we identify bottlenecks in the system? How do we know reimbursement's an issue for this population? Making sure that they are able to get more of their therapy in the hands of patients that need it faster, which ultimately drives the bottom line of a pharmaceutical company, while at the same time has tremendous benefit to the patient population. Let me talk to you about three things that are crucially important to the Insights Management Platform and approach. Life science companies are so sophisticated when it comes to working through the drug development process. So our approach is precision targeting, which is, okay, yes, we start off with the same global lung cancer database. But what we do is we work with a client to understand, but your drug is only being prescribed in these certain scenarios. And then it turns out that your drug also is typically used in combination with some pain management therapy, and they're involved. And then it also turns out that there's a nutritionist component within your drug, and maybe even there's a pathologist or diagnosing component within your drug. And these are all specialists that are involved with your particular treatment. So you add the subsets of those populations into the view. that are only precisely targeted for what you're trying to do. What you end up with is a highly honed view of the universe versus that generic database where you started out. But then on top of that, then comes network analytics. What network analytics does is it starts to understand how does everyone interact with each other. So we can understand, here's the physicians, but how does science translate from those who are publishing it over to those who ultimately will prescribe it? There's a science behind that, and we've added that into Within3. So you can really understand, what is my gateway to underserved populations? Which treaters or institutions might I need to have a relationship with to increase my access to those underserved populations that I maybe wasn't even aware of? Those are the sorts of things you can answer with network analytics, because it's about how the people talk to each other. When we talk about AI at Within3, what we're talking about is AI, artificial intelligence, as it pertains to insights. Our AI is trained on how to take the real world discussions, the jargon, the roll-ups that happen in life sciences, and how to organize and categorize that, how to apply sentiment to that. So when the doctor says your education material is really good, but you should beat your own chest about that more, is that positive? The materials are good? Negative? We're not being loud enough? Is it both? Our AI is smart enough to kind of sift those out, and that allows us to surface all that back to a client in a highly usable way, saving them tremendous amount of time, alerting them to things that are happening in the marketplace that they expected, but almost more importantly, showing them things that are coming through that maybe they weren't expecting, and things that are trending up or down over time. It helps them understand the trajectories of the work that they're doing in the field. Companies do these in parts and pieces. They'll have a vendor for this and a vendor for that and an agency for this and a CRO for that. And they're kind of breaking these things apart. What happens is longer studies, more error prone, a larger number of them not meeting targets. There's a lot of waste in the process. Within3 removes all of that. It centralizes a lot of those bespoke tangential sorts of analyses and investigation into one place to support a client strategy. A platform that is built to answer questions and contains all the information and data and the analytics and all the access to the humans who matter, all integrated together and served up in a way that's actionable. That is a globally changing sort of technology set versus what's there today. We take a different headset to the marketplace, which I mentioned earlier, which is anytime anybody touches Within3, I want them to win with it. We listen to our clients, we understand what they need, how we can help them solve it, how we can do it at scale, how can we make it repeatable, how can we do it internationally. If we can solve for it in one region of the world, can we solve for it in all regions of the world? That's what makes Within3's footprint global like it is. And that even that diversity is reflected in our employee base, which is very unlike from a diversity standpoint any other tech company you're going to talk to. It all works together, and it's really powerful.